Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Hopefully those who see this video can be blessed by Allah Subhanahu wa taala. Amin. This video will explain about hakikat pendidikan or the essence of education. Please listen carefully and enjoy it. Most of the people know education is important for their life, and every countries will make a good education system for their next generation. So the every education will have differences depending on the culture in every countries. Like Western education system, it focus on the humanity and natural sciences education, but in other side, for a countries have for a countries has a Muslim majority population, surely implementing education based on the teaching of Al-Quran and Hadith. So the focus focus on word and hereafter education. Okay, what is hakikat pendidikan or the essence of education? I'm sure you had heard about it, but you didn't know the meaning of that words, right? Okay, I will explain. The hakikat come from the word al-haq, which mean the truth. In other sense of a sense of the basic a sense is the basic teaching formed by church. If I connect it with Islam, then I'm at what is Allah said in Al-Quran. So the next is education. Education is leadership by educators on the physical and spiritual development of students towards the information of maturity. Basically, education is an activity of educating someone to reach maturity. So the nature or essence of education will not spirited from the nature of humanity itself. And the next is hakikat pendidikan or the essence of education. The essence of education in general is a planned effort to make a good atmosphere or the learning process so the student can develop their potential physical and spiritual with good character or good akhlak.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Lilis Lisdawati. I am from the last group of ED subject, Islam Discipline Ilmu. So my materials group is about the essence of education. I believe that my friend already discussed with you about the essence of education in non-Muslim perception. Also, I believe that my friend already told you about the terms of education, 10 terms of education. So I am here with you. I would like to discuss with you about the essence of education in Islam perception. But before that, I would like to remind you first the essence of education itself. As you all know that education is very important. It is useful for our life. It is useful for our daily life. Even it is obligated to us. Yeah. Like in hadith, An Anas bin Malik radhiyallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin wa muslimatin. Yeah, in this hadith, it is clearly told us that having education, gaining ilmu, gaining knowledge, it is obligated to us. Why is it obligated? It is obligated because it is important. Yeah. With knowledge, with education, everything would be easy. Even in hadith, Allah make the person who is gaining ilmu special. Yeah. Man salaka torikon yaltamisu bihi ilman sahalallahu bihi torikon ilal jannah. Allah make the person who is gaining ilmu, who is having education, a reward. A reward. This reward is Jannah, is heaven. Yeah. The best way to the heaven. Yeah. Allah make the person who is gaining ilmu special, mashallah. Yeah. Even in Mahfuzat say that al-alimu kabirun wa inkana hadathan wal jahilu saghirun wa in kana shaykhon. It is as exactly that al-alim or educational person would be respected even he is young. Yeah, so education is very important. In my material, it is about the education in Islam perception. Yeah. What is it? So, it is about the education with Islamic teaching, with Islamic method. So, education in Islam is education with Sharia. It is not out of the obligation that Allah has been told us in Hadith or Al-Quran. So, it is not out of Quran. So, the education in Islam perception, the method of teaching or the ilmu or the knowledge of it would be with the strategy of Islam. Yeah. Why is it important? The education in Islam perception. Yeah, it is important because in this education, it has purpose. It purpose to make us, to make human back to the pure, because the human is pure, and the Islamic teaching or the education with Islam perception, it purpose to guide human to the right way, to guide human to the heaven. Yeah, so it is the purpose. Yeah. So the purpose of education in Islam perception is very important for our feedback in life, because the obligation from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is very very obligate to us. So we have to do it right way. We have to do it with sincere. We have to do it because of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Yeah. It is from me. I'm so sorry for the mistake that I have been doing. And the last, Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ilmu kabirun wa in kana hadathan wal jahilu saghirun wa in kana shaykhon. It is as exactly that al-alim or educational person would be respected even he is young. Yeah, so education is very important. Yeah, in my material, it is about the education in Islam perception. Yeah, what is it? So, it is about the education with Islamic teaching, with Islamic method. So, education in Islam is education with Sharia. It is not out of the obligation that Allah has been told us in Hadith or Al Quran. So it is not out of Quran. So the education in Islam perception, the method of teaching or the ilmu or the knowledge of it would be with the strategy of Islam. Yeah. Why is it important? The education in Islam perception. Yeah, it is important because in this education, it has purpose. It purpose to make us to make human um, back to the pure, yeah, because the human is pure, and the Islamic teaching or um, the education with Islam perception, it purposed to guide human to the right way, to guide human to the heaven. Yeah, so it is the purpose. Yeah, so the purpose of education in Islam perception is very important for our feedback in life, because uh, the obligation from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is very um, very obligate to us. So we have to do it right way. We have to do it uh, with sincere. We have to do it because of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Yeah. It is from me. I'm so sorry for the mistake that I have been doing. And the last, Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Lathifah Abdillah, and I will continue the presentation about the types of education. Okay, there are four terms used in the West to denote the word of education or lesson. Okay, for the first is education. The second is pedagogy. The third is andragogy, and the fourth is healthagogy. The term of education means to lead and to guide and bring people to be prominent. While the word pedagogy, which seems to questionable by educators and students' creativity. Okay, andragogy. Andragogy comes from the Greek words, namely is anere, which means adult, and agogus, which means to educate or teach. The essence of andragogy is a senior science that helps adults to be able to learn and become learners. And healthagogy is a correction from the previous term. There are pedagogy and andragogy. The term of healthagogy, it means a learning concept that asks students to learn how to learn and what they learn. So determine who who really learns. Okay, the next material will be discussed from my friends. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. About the science education, we need to know that in the context of Islam, there are many terms of education. Okay, everyone, here I will discuss about 10 terms of the essence of education in Islam. The first is al-tanshiyah, which means to grow and develop. And these terms was first used by Ibn Khaldun in his book Al-Muqaddimah. Okay, the second is al-islah, which means an attempt to repair. This term is first used by Khalid Hamid al-Hamizi in his book Usul at-Tarbiyah al-Islamiyah. The third is al-ta'dib or al-adab, who has an existing and administrative meaning. This term is popularized by Al-Mawardi in his book Dar Ad-Dunya Wad-Din and Ibnu Shahnun in his book Adab Mu'alimin wa Muta'alimin, and Khatib al-Baghdadi in his book Al-Jami' li Akhlaq Ar-Rawi wa Adab As-Sami', and Ibnu Jama'ah in his book Tazkirah As-Sami' wa Mutakalim fi Adab Al-Alim wa Muta'alim. Okay, the fourth, al-tahzib, who has purification. The term was first popularized by Ibn Miskawi in his book Tahzib al-Akhlaq wa Tazbir al-Arab, and Jahiz in his book Al-Akhlaq. The fifth, at-Tazbir, who has a cleaning of dirty things and bad things. This term is also popularized by Ibn Miskawi in his book Tahzib al-Akhlaq wa Tazbir al-Arab. And then will be discussed by my friend.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Iil Hilyatul Kamilah. Now I want to explain about terms of education. There are 10 terms of education. Before, 5 terms was explained with my friends, and now I will explain 5 more terms of education. Okay, first is at-tazkiyah. At-tazkiyah has mean holy. This term was used with Abdurrahman As-Sa'idi in his book Tafsir Karim Ar-Rahman wa Tafsir Al-Manan. Next is at-ta'lim. At-ta'lim has mean teach, because in education there are teachers who teach the students. So next, al-siyasah. Al-siyasah has mean strategy, because in education teachers usually have the strategy to explain the material to the students. Okay, next, al-irsyad wa nasihah. Al-irsyad mean guide, and an-nasihah mean advice. Al-irsyad, guide, because the teacher have to guide the student to the right way, and an-nasihah mean advice. Why? Because teachers also can be an advisor for students. And the last is akhlak. Akhlak mean attitude. With education, we can have a good attitude in our life. So those are 10 of Those are 10 of term of education. From 10 terms of education that I was explained and my friends before, there are three famous terms in education. There are at-ta'lim, at-tarbiyah, wat-ta'bid. Those terms will be explained by my friend after this. Okay, maybe those are from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Hannah. Here I will continue the material about hakikat pendidikan. Here, the next material about hakikat pendidikan is 3 popular terms in education. There are 3. The first is tarbiyah, the second is ta'lim, and the third is ta'dib. The first, tarbiyah, means to nurture, develop, and educate. And the word of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in Holy Quran says, Surah Al-Isra, ayat 24, which means, and humble yourself to both of them with gratefulness, and say, Oh my Lord, love them both, as they both have educated and a child. Education takes place in the humble place, which is from infancy, is which the child is very depends of family love, especially parents. So, tarbiyah is educated between parents to children, as parents are madrasah for the children. And the second is ta'lim. Ta'lim is teaching. In Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 31, which mean, and the talk Adam names things in their entirety. They are related to the site mentioned to me the name of Allah object. If you are teach their children from childhood, as it teaches family names, things are other. And the third last is ta'dib. Ta'dib means is training. Training is discipline, fidelity, disciplines, and civilizing, and parents and family always educated their children since childhood in a valid and always independent is very so that is more discipline. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, this is the last session of the presentation. So, thank you very much for Miss Dewi as our lecturer in Islam Science discipline, and thanks also to friends for your kind attention. Okay, the conclusion of this presentation is education in Islam also has coverage that's as broad as general education, even more than its. That's because Islamic education encouraging and developing religious education, in which emphasis is on internalizing the Islamic values of faith and intentions in the Muslim person who has extensive knowledge. Okay, that's all from our group. Please give us your apologies for any shortage from our group. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.